complaining about how much money had been spent on the sound mix. Because that's, as Cimino told me in an interview that I did with him over the phone some years ago, he said, oh, the whole reason you do 70 is for the sound, back when that was state of the art. And it's talked about in the book, oh, the sound mix was so bad and you couldn't understand what people were saying and how did we pay so much money for it? We previewed the stuff that he was complaining about this afternoon, and I could hear almost everything that was being said by the two characters in the scene that he was complaining about. So it's an amazing, I don't know if Dave's got better equipment up there than they had back in New York in 1980 or whatnot. But, and anyway, as I say, oh, one last thing, you've got to see this. This is what, unless you're seeing digital DCP, when you go to a movie theater, you're seeing 35 millimeter, usually running on reels like this. And that would be the width of the film. What makes this impressive tonight is this is the width of the film that you're going to see tonight. And it really is, it makes a big difference when you see how impressive that is. The big difference between these two formats. And I mean, to even look at frames of it just with the naked eye up in the booth, which I've done, it's just like, oh my, it's so gorgeous, so beautiful. And what's also beautiful about this is from the days when labs really cared about how they made prints. And this print made 33 years ago, which should have faded and maybe not be in such great shape, looks, at least the reels that we've run, look gorgeous. The film has a very subdued color palette. That was on purpose. Cimino and the cinematographer Vilmos Zsigmond chose this very specifically. So it's supposed to evoke the past and the photographs that Cimino actually looked at to inform him on the costuming and the sets. And that's another thing. When you look at this, everything you're seeing, there's no CGI. Everything you are seeing is either on real locations built from the ground up specifically for this production. I think there's going to be one process shot in the prologue, in the epilogue at the end, and that's it. It's all real people, real sets, real things. And in this day and age, this is what won over instead of this film were things like Star Wars and Jaws. Not that there's anything wrong with those films or those kinds of films, but those are the films that the public voted for against films like this. So without further ado, and there is an intermission. I think it's around 2 hours and change. There's a beautifully constructed intermission that Cimino has since done away with on the Blu-ray. You get to see it here tonight. And David Mansfield, the composer, told me that there's an overture that he wrote and recorded that's supposed to play right after it says intermission, and it never got used, and we're using it tonight. So it's the first time it's been done properly the way it was designed. So, without further ado.